Hi, welcome back. My name is Mel DeWeese. On this channel, I usually go over HR and employee benefits and some other nerdy things, but today I'm going to get more psychological, more self-help-ish. The video is mindset shifts. This is my third mindset shift video. I have been going through taking notes and noticing my brain and noticing how these different little shifts have revolutionized my life, changed my identity, changed my outcomes, changed my life. And as I go through these, I want to share them with other people because hopefully you find them useful as I did, or even just a fraction of how useful I found them. And in the previous videos, I did talk about how these shifts have impacted my health, impacted my eating habits, my workout habits, my work habits. And I do try to dive in as to how I've noticed that these changes in the way I think and approach things do help me in the long run, I believe, live a more meaningful life and a purpose-driven life. So today I want to talk about a couple of topics. The first one is don't be stupid. The second one is look stupid to get better. The third one is keep moving even if it's slow. And the most recent one is be fast, don't rush. I'll start out with the first one, which is don't be stupid. And I talked about this one a little bit in the last video, and this one relates mostly to working out. And I've been working out relatively hard, challenging myself in the gym for over 10 years. We'll just say that. I've pretty consistently every day for the most part, 10, 15-ish years. And the gym has changed my life for the better. Prior to going to the gym, I was a smoker, a recovering addict. I have come a long way. Let's just say that. And the gym helps my mental health. Working out helps my mental health tremendously, helps me focus, helps me with my so-called ADD, helps me manage my emotions better, regulates my sleep. I used to have a lot of problems sleeping, staying up, and I've noticed even now today, if I don't work out a certain amount, I do have sleep problems. I tend to stay up really late. So there's lots of reasons. And so as I come across these thoughts, I try to write them down. I do want to share them with others in hopes that it helps someone else in a similar way, or at least a fraction of how it helped me. So that's my intention. Don't be stupid is really about something I tell myself consistently when I'm in the gym. And it really means to live to survive another day. And when I have this thought process, when I have this thought pattern, it doesn't mean don't do it, right? It means do it best you can. It's almost the opposite. I have to tell myself to not be stupid because I want to get after it so bad. And the idea is to live to see another day. That's how I word it in my own mind. And these statements to someone who isn't into sports or into the gym, it may sound dramatic. It may sound ridiculous. It sounds like I'm going to war or something. Um, and I am in my own mind. I think a lot of people are. And the more I am in the gym, the more I realize that everyone struggles internally while they're working out, before and after. It's a struggle, right? It's a mental gymnastics, learning yourself, tricking yourself, getting to know yourself, practice. And I find it funny that I have different mindsets on different days and I have to use different strategies on myself. And living to survive another day in the gym also reinforces consistency because it doesn't matter what you do one day. It doesn't really matter at all. You crush it, you get the best workout in. Let's say you do what the CrossFit games athletes do in a day, and you do the same workout, and you're destroyed and probably in the hospital, um, or with pulled muscles and all sorts of things. So it doesn't do any good to do that one day. It would be better to walk, run a mile, or walk, jog a mile, or walk a mile, even going from zero. I'm talking about going from zero, off the couch, sitting on the couch, Netflixing too much, and just getting some activity in. It would be better to walk a mile every day for the rest of your life than it would be to have an epic workout one day in your life. So when I tell myself, don't be stupid, it reinforces my commitment to consistency, even though my ego may be getting in the way. And my ego, I would like to think, has gotten better or more in check. I mean, of course, it's always there. Uh, when I see someone lifting certain weights that maybe I used to lift on a consistent basis, and I could do that, or, I want to show them how it's done, right? They're not doing it right or something, some stupid thought. And I haven't done that in a long time. I haven't been practicing that movement. I haven't been practicing those things as of late. And it would be stupid for me to go over there. And maybe I get away with it and maybe I don't hurt myself. But why? Why take the risk? It's a stupid risk. It does nothing for me unless I'm, again, committing to getting back under the bar and doing all of the exercises it would take to prep my body for that type of exercise, which at this point for me might be a couple of months. I have to do itty bitty weenie exercises for a while before I'm ready to do that again and feel confident doing it again without hurting myself. So I stick to other things. I'm doing other things, but obviously, and body weight and functional movements and the like. But my point is, don't be stupid, be consistent. The next one is look stupid to get better. I never really tried in sports. I never did. One, I wasn't interested in it. And two, I think deep down I was afraid of looking stupid. Like, what if I try and I fall on my face and I look stupid and I don't get the ball, you know? And I think that was deep down in my subconscious somewhere. And I think a lot of people have these tendencies. I don't know where it comes from. It comes from our society, our culture, some TV shows. I'm not sure where the hell this thought comes from. But it goes and it comes and it floats around and it enters into my brain. And I act upon it by not trying. And so fail before you start, right? If you're not trying, if you're not making attempts, you get nothing. And I think when we walk into this thought, many of us just accept it and say, yeah, and just let it be and take action and do nothing, because the pain of failure is greater than the pain of doing nothing. And I think at some point there can be a shift where the pain of doing nothing is greater than failure. And what if you could have? What if it could have happened for you and you didn't even try? So I have found acknowledging the thought, asking myself if it's true, if I choose to believe it or not. Am I going to lie to myself? Is that really true? And the answer is, if I do nothing, I'll have nothing. If I do something and fail, at least I have the experience of attempting and failing rather than no experience at all. I mean, we're really here in this life to have experiences. And I don't think I'm going to sit on my deathbed and remember all the great movies I saw on Netflix. I don't think that's what I'm going to think about. So it's really meaningless in my mind to spend too much time doing that. I don't want to be too intense about it, but I do think that many people right now are falling into a pleasure spiral, the short-term pleasure spiral where dopamine hits are abundant on devices and on screen time and consumption, and the and I believe many people are falling into that. I feel myself from time to time falling into that vacuum, and I just don't see how it can be productive in the long run. And the way I combat that and those desires and those urges to just sit on the couch and do nothing. Oh my gosh, I'm so overstimulated. I just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. I will allow myself to do that, don't get me wrong. But what peels me off the couch is thinking about my 80-year-old self. My rocking chair test is what I call it. And I often picture myself as an older woman, perhaps in my 80s, sitting on a porch in my rocking chair, thinking about my life. And if I use this a lot when I'm worried about something, if I've made an error, in work, or there's an email I didn't get back to within a certain amount of time and I feel bad, or there's so many times I can't even, it usually is work related. Something that didn't go my way, it didn't happen the way I thought it would in my job. And as those things keep me up at night, oftentimes I will ask, is this something I'm going to even remember as an 80-year-old person sitting on my porch? Is this even going to matter? Am I even going to remember this day? And the answer is probably not in most cases, in 99.9% of those situations. And it's just something that I use to combat my own mind and be an advocate for myself and a coach for myself, if you will. So looking stupid to get better. I started realizing this slowly when I started working out. And I was very slow to progress with weights. One, I respected it so much. I knew that I could injure myself. I wanted to do it correctly. I wanted to do it right. I was super focused on form. I do believe that that paid off for me in the long run. I think I'm pretty mobile for most people who have lifted as much as I have. And I contribute that to always sticking to functional movements and taking things very slow and methodical, always having a plan, prehab, rehab, and recovery, all that stuff. But when I started practicing dance on a consistent basis, I really had to understand that when I first try something new in a dance class, I will look stupid. I still look stupid now, but I had, because as if I do not hold on to this and become okay with looking stupid to someone else, and therefore never even attempt to do that movement or to pull it off or even to see how hard it is or to see if I can even do it, I will never do it. It will never happen. The progression is so slow, it never happens. You end up just standing there stepping side to side, um, which eliminates all fun. The fun part is reaching outside of my comfort zone, and now I enjoy looking stupid. I find it very fun. If I fall over or I, lean too far one way or I get overextended and I stumble and, roll with stuff, it makes it a lot more fun. And I laugh at myself, and then I notice people around me laugh at me too. And It loosens everybody up, makes it a more enjoyable experience. And I've had such an eye-opening experience with not being afraid to look stupid. I didn't even realize how afraid I was to look stupid, I guess is my point. I was very long-winded with that. I started telling you about my entire history all the way back to freaking childhood to get around to it. But we came back around. We circled it all the way around. So I guess I'm exhaustively beating around this one because it did take me so long to even acknowledge that I had that thought in my head and that it was influencing me. It was making me not try stuff. It was keeping me from having fun. And I do remember as a younger person that if I didn't want to do something, I knew that I had to do it right away and not think about it, like jumping off of something like bungee jumping or like doing something scary. I had to just go one, two, three, and then go. And if I would hesitate, then it was almost like I would never do it. It just becomes more, you build up more resistance in your body and your mind and everything. So I did recall those thoughts as a younger person, talking about like before my prefrontal cortex was probably fully developed, right? Like 16 or something. So I was a complete idiot. I didn't listen to the don't be stupid part, which is why don't be stupid is first. Um, so looking stupid to get better. And as I have sometimes intentionally tried to look stupid, I go, okay, I'm at this dance. I'm going to look stupid. And I go and I do this like overly exaggerated version of whatever the heck the teacher's doing. And it's ridiculous. And I look stupid, but it's fun. I promise you, it's fun. It's more fun to look stupid in most situations than it is to sit there and be like, oh, I can't believe that they're over there trying that. Can you believe who do they think they are? Oh, she didn't look that good, you know. Do I want to be that person? If you can't beat them, join them. You know, that's where that saying comes from. I think that's where that saying comes from. One of my rules when I was a professional partier was if you're annoyed by someone, you have to join them. You have to do what they're doing. If that person over there in the corner of the bar is super loud and they're annoying you, you should probably go over there and join in the fun. That way you're not annoyed anymore. So I did recognize that as a young person, but I didn't tie it into a more positive, into behaviors and actions that produce a more positive, productive result, more meaningful and purposeful result, right? Um, Keep moving even though it's slow. So, and my brain's already going to the one after this one, which is about working fast. So, and I chose these contradictory statements because I think it's very interesting that there's so much duality in these things, right? There's all these lines, and I always say you never really know where the line is until you cross it. Like you really never know how much you can do until you fail, right? Or you don't know how far you need to go until you hurt yourself. So keep moving, even though it's slow. And I rely on this usually when I don't want to do something because I feel like it's going to take me, it's a multi-day process. Maybe it's something I have to do, work on every single day for 90 days straight to get it done. And because it's not immediate, it makes it less rewarding, less of a dopamine hit. This tends to be, for me, a project that takes multiple hits. So it's more of a process, a long-term process. Maybe I have to touch this project every single day for 90 days straight to get it done. And, or maybe it's something that will take what I estimate to be 100 hours to complete the project. And at the bottom of the hill, that 100 hours looks daunting, and I may not know where to start or anything like that. So there's all these I don't knows. It usually has something to do, like the first kind of confrontation I have with myself is a I don't know. That's usually what it is a I don't know. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I, I don't know. And that is a flag. Um, it's a flag that you're talking yourself out of doing something, and it's a procrastination, really, at the end of the day. And I have struggled with procrastination so much. So it's a familiar thing for me. And so I go, okay, I don't know. So start. You just got to start, even though it's going to be slow, Melissa. And I talk myself through, and I go to usually a search engine, or now a Perplexity or Chat GPT, and I start talking. I start filling it in, writing it out, or I journal. A lot of times I'll get out my journal, start writing out my thoughts are about it, get it all out, let me have my little temper tantrum perhaps about why I don't want to do this, what I'm afraid of, what's going to go wrong. Uh, and then I talk about why it's worth doing, and really have that conversation with myself, take time to have that conversation with myself. Depends on the level of procrastination, let me just tell you, because people may be going, oh my gosh, you have to do this all the time to do anything. No, no, absolutely not. It's usually has to do with something that I don't enjoy doing yet. I don't like to do it. It's something usually because I don't know how to do it. Like most things that I know how to do, I like to do. Most things that I am learning, it creates sticking points. Like I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to fail. I don't want to waste time. And I feel sometimes when those thoughts come in, start feeling like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and waste my time. No, you're wasting your time by thinking about doing something that you should just start doing, right? So when I have these projects, on top of putting it in an asana or something like that, to break out the different steps, I tell myself to work on it even though it's slow. So keep moving even though it's slow. Just keep moving no matter what. Just keep it moving, keep it moving, keep the ball rolling, keep it. And this has served me so well, especially in insurance. There's lots of tasks in insurance where you just got to ping. You got to ping everybody. You got to follow up. You got to keep things, communication lines open, ping, ping, ping. And I've found that on a weekly basis, as long as I touch all of these projects, things move in a consistent way and move forward, and the ball moves forward. I've also learned this with bodybuilding. It's very demoralizing when you first start out, to go, oh my gosh, I'm going to do a show and I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm never going to be that, I'm never going to look like her, I'm never going to be that thin, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you're having those kinds of thoughts, you definitely got to work on those, and definitely having those put downs in your mind will definitely slow everything down. But once you get through those and just start with an action plan. So that's what I did, is I said, okay, this is my show a year out or 6 months out. And then I would backfill. I would reverse engineer what do I have to do today? What do I have to do tomorrow? What I have to do. It really ended up being broken out by week. And then I think I created like 2 week plans, like every 2 weeks. Yeah, I created a plan every 2 weeks. I think the first month I just checked my weight and kind of created a baseline. And then I created a plan that was a 250 calorie reduction from what I was averaging over that entire month of me tracking what I was doing. It was just get me in the habit of tracking, because when you're doing bodybuilding, you got to track everything, because if you don't know how many calories in, calories out, uh, how do you know how much you need to take away to get leaner? It's all about whoever's got the least amount of body fat on stage, and sometimes the most amount of muscle, or the muscle in the right places. And there's a lot more to it, but for the most part, the diet part, you do have to start tapering it down, or taper down and then stay there for a little while, hold, maybe increase some cardio to get the calories down. Like, once you understand and start tracking all your workouts, all your cardio, all your supplements are super consistent, and you have a program for tackling weightlifting in the areas that you want to bring up, you can go out the whole year and plan your entire year. And that's what I really loved about getting ready for a show. I knew what was going to happen in this one area of my life. It was an area that was easier to control than some of the other areas. Um, but with that, I learned a lot. Learned these little tips and tricks about how to battle my mind, right? Then we go to be fast, don't rush. And this happened to me recently. Actually, it happens to me all the time. My husband's like a rusher. He rush, 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 rush. He just goes, he doesn't plan anything. He just goes task complete, task complete, task complete, task complete. And in my opinion, it's exhausting. I'm like, you're going to burn yourself out at some point. I'm waiting for it to happen. He's almost 50, so maybe it'll happen after he's 50. I don't know. You guys let me know when it happens. But he doesn't really plan much out. He just says, I know what needs to get done. I just do it. I'm like, okay, I get that. But again, with my big girl job being in insurance, I really have to have all these lists. I have to know what's going on. I have to know I got to follow up with Susie, and I have this meeting. I promised this employer I would talk to him at 3:30 on Friday. There's meetings I have to remember to be in, and if it's not on a calendar, it's not happening. Where he's more hands-on guy, he's building stuff, he's fixing stuff. I think it's different when you're building cars and working in 3D space, 4D space. It's different, right? But when you're in front of a computer, working with employers and doing HR, I mean, you got to plan these things out. And I love being fast. I love going through and see how fast I can update this and that and move through these programs and toggle back and forth. And I love getting shit done fast. I love when I'm in that flow where it's just like boom, 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 one task after another, and serving people, being of value, being efficient. It feels really good, right? But that's a different energy than just rushing. Oh my God, I'm late, right? Like being late, or like speeding in your car to get to an appointment. I don't like any of that. Like, I like making sure I have enough time to get somewhere, I can go the speed limit. I don't have to cut anybody off. I don't have to be a jerk on the road. Like, there's just a different energy to it. And it's exhausting to rush. Rush, 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 rush. If I'm rushing around an appointment trying to get somewhere and I'm late, the energy and the thoughts that go into that. And even if I am late, even if I know where I'm going, if it doesn't matter if I'm 5 minutes late, I still call. I call. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm still coming. I'm on my way. I'm going to be late. And it's like soothing. It's so soothing knowing that I'm not inconveniencing maybe I'm inconveniencing the other person, but at least they're not sitting there wondering, is this broad going to show up, or is she going to skip the appointment? Am I going to lose this appointment slot, that I thought I was going to be making money and now I'm not. Like, I feel compassion for these small business owners that are waiting on us. Skipping appointments and things. They thought they were going to make some money and now they've got an empty chair. Um, so be fast, but don't rush. That's one of my mottos. It's like really a principle I live by. You know, my husband goes, "Hey, you're just so go with the flow." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I like to go with the flow. I don't mind when unexpected things come up, but if he asks me to do something, he wants me to do it like now." And I'm like, you know, "Oh, I got time tomorrow between 5:30 and 6. I'll do it then." You know. And that drive, it's so funny. It's just hilarious. We've got two different personalities, and it's so fun to see how his brain works and how he can be successful and so good at what he does, and then me being just totally different. But again, it is a totally different job types and industries and things. Um, so I'm open to it all. I'm not saying like my way is right and his way is wrong, or your way is wrong. And I'm just trying to share what helped me with my unique brain. So hopefully it helped you. We went over don't be stupid, look stupid to get better, keep moving even if it's slow, and be fast, don't rush. All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed it. Make a comment. Tell me if this helped you at all in the comments down below. Share it with someone that you think would benefit from any of this information or enjoy the rant at least. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Also, let me know if you're enjoying this. That way I'll make more. And if you don't, then I'll do something else. So thank you for hanging out until the end, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.